Yeah! Welcome to the right! Welcome to the right, everybody. My name is American Right, and today, however, whatever time it is that you're listening to this, I have a brand new Gray Zone Warfare video for you all. It's pretty exclusive. Only a handful of people got access to this content, and I want to sit down and I want to break it down for you all. I'm going to try not to have so many cuts this video. I'm used to doing live streams. That's kind of where I came up. I stream 4 nights a week over on Twitch, so I'm used to kind of being live, and I'm not really used to doing the YouTube format still. Although I've done a lot of YouTube videos, I'm still getting used to it. All right, I'm not quite there yet. But today, what I want to talk to you all about is a brand new mission in Gray Zone Warfare. The mission is called Rat's Nest, and it looks pretty badass. Also, at the end of me talking about this mission with you all, I'm going to cut the footage, and I'm going to let you all listen to an interview with the PR and comms director. His name's Rick. He works for Madfinger Games. He's in contact with a lot of the creators that are covering Gray Zone Warfare, and he sits down and does an interview with a guy named Spicy. All right, that's not his real name. That's kind of his code name. He is an ex-Special Forces operator. They call him Special Forces in the Czech Republic. He's an ex-Special Forces guy, and he's actually the advisor to Gray Zone Warfare. And because Gray Zone Warfare puts a huge emphasis on realism and immersion, they have worked very, very closely with this guy named Spicy. I'm going to actually have some slides kind of popping up. He's a badass. He's the real deal. He's done the missions, kicking down doors, grabbing bad guys, bagging bad guys. They did not ask his body count in the interview. That would be highly inappropriate to ask. But when I tell you this dude's the real deal, you're going to see these slides. You're going to see that popping up. So without further ado, let's just jump into this video. All right, so here's our mission overview screen of Rat's Nest. Look, I just did like 3 takes. This video is going to be so long if I don't get to the point. Here's the point. This is the mission in Gray Zone Warfare. Rat's Nest. Handshake is a vendor, aka trader. This is our first time seeing Handshake. Rat's Nest is a recon mission. It's very, very similar to Escape from Tarkov in the fact that, look, if you complete the objectives in your mission, you're going to get rewards. You're going to get reputation for Handshake to make his vendor level go up. You're going to get XP to improve or to go towards your character's rank overall in the game. And then you're going to receive an item. The Special Forces operator named Spicy is actually, when I cut to the interview, is going to tell you how he would tackle this mission in real life. It's a really, really cool interview. I think it's totally worth y'all's time to watch it. Throw it on in the car on your way to work. Throw it on when you're doing dishes or laundry or making dinner, whatever it is. I think it's a really cool interview to listen to. Now, that being said, I'm just going to hit on Rat's Nest real fast, what this mission is, and then we're going to cut to that interview because I don't want to make this like a 40-minute video. So Rat's Nest. This is the description of the mission. So here's the deal. It looks like some of those rats in town didn't get the memo and are still scurrying around causing trouble. It's time to put a stop to their operations. Your mission is to conduct a thorough search of the town and its outskirts and identify the hideouts used by these punks. Keep your eyes peeled for any suspicious signs or markings that might help you uncover them. The main areas of interest are the town's northwest and southeast sections. Once you've identified the hideouts, investigate them discreetly. We want to gather as much information as possible before moving. Don't engage in direct confrontations unless absolutely necessary. Don't forget, your primary objectives are reconnaissance and gathering intel. It's really cool in the interview with Spicy. He talks about real-world missions that he's went on, and when he's had to break contact, pretty cool. And then a lot of missions that he's gone on and then got out of those missions and no one even knew he was there. Pretty sweet. The task, aka the objectives, are retrieve intel from the southeast part of the town, retrieve intel from the northwest part of the town. You can see there's sub-objectives underneath that. These kind of match, but that leads me to believe there are going to be some missions in this game that are going to have 3 or 4 sub-objectives. Anyway, that's pretty much the spill on this brand new mission called Rat's Nest. First look at this mission. Really excited for this game. I really do think that we're going to get an early access playtest soon. Maybe first quarter, maybe second quarter. We'll see what happens, but I'm excited for this. I'm really excited to play this game and stream it for you all on Twitch and make more YouTube content about it. I'm going to cut to this interview with Spicy and Rick. Rick interviews him. It's a really great interview, like I said. If you like content like this, consider subscribing to the channel. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. It would mean the world to my family and I. Smash that sub button, turn on notifications so you don't miss any more Gray Zone Warfare videos. Also, come through the live streams. We play a lot of survival games, tactical shooters, looter shooters, and Mill Sims. We do Mill Sim Monday every Monday night. It's a lot of fun. I'll link the Twitch channel in the description. All right, love you guys. Thanks so much for watching this video. You're not going to hear from me the rest of this. We're going to cut to this interview and get to the good stuff. All right, y'all have a good one. Let's go!
So now to kind of tie this into gray zone warfare, we're going to do something interesting here and give you an idea of a mission that takes place in gray zone warfare. And, you know, we have a lot of quests and missions in the game, but we're picking one here specifically to see maybe even like your approach, the kind of gear you'd use and sort of this sort of thing. It's called Rat's Nest. I'm going to describe the mission to you and then break down, like, you know, again, what you'd use on the mission, how you would tackle the mission, if that makes sense. If we can start from the beginning, the type of gear, maybe even your choice of weapon, what would you do? How would you approach this?
Okay, so it seems to me that it's a more like a long recce patrol than a close quarter battle or whatever. So I would choose lighter gear, and I would try to get as much information as possible from the outside of the village. So I don't want to approach the village and let the bad guys know, hey guys, here I am. But I would like to sneak in around, use binoculars, cameras, whatever, to get as much information as possible.
Okay. So we know that, you know, ideally maybe you don't engage if possible, but what's your ideal choice of weapon in a situation like this?
Definitely, I'm pretty familiar with the AR-15 M4 platforms, so that's gonna be my go-to rifle. For a pistol, I love Glocks, so that's my choice. And I think that would be like a good for like a 7-8 magazines. And some special equipment for surveillance.
Now, any particular modifications to the weapon for this mission, or you said surveillance?
Yeah, maybe I would love to use LPVO systems on a rifle, 1 to 6, 1 to 8. It depends which models is gonna be in the game, or some red dot sights and some optics who give me the better view, like on a longer distance.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so let's try and picture this then. You know, in regards to infill, you're landing, you know, preferably on a helicopter, because that's, you know, again, what's in our game is the little birds, right?
Yeah.
How does that look as you're landing?
Actually, for this type of a mission, I would not use the choppers, at least on not so close distance, because...
It makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so if I would use the choppers, my LZ is gonna be like, let's say 3-4 clicks away from objective.
Yeah.
And you know, for the walk, it takes like 2-3 hours to get there, which is not a big deal. And hide myself in front of the enemies, it's a crucial in here.
Okay, so yeah, so once you arrive, you land, and you're on your way. We're just kind of curious. So once you're on the way to this point of interest, are you always 100% focused on the mission, or does your mind ever wander sometimes when you're going between locations?
Actually, I would be 100% focused on the mission. And as I mentioned before, so I don't wanna approach the village. So to get more information from outside, definitely.
Okay. Once you start getting closer, how do you start to plan with your team? You know, obviously, again, in particular, this mission, you're trying not to engage. So what's your strategy?
Yeah. So it depends how many guys gonna be in my team, but I would definitely establish some.
Say 4.
Four, okay, 4, including me. I will keep my group together, definitely, because if we were like an 8, you can establish fire support or machine gun guys or snipers to help you out if something wrong happened. But 4 members definitely keep the group together. And try to establish at least 2 observation points and try to get the information.
So Spicy, you're in a room and you need to find some intel. You need to find something important. There's a mess everywhere, and so you're having a difficulty finding what you need to find. So how do you go about the process of locating the intel you need?
Okay, so it always depends on the time. How much time do you have? If I have enough time, so I will start search always clockwise. So and at the first, I will search from 1.5 meter to the ceiling, and I search all the room from one spot. I don't moving inside the room. I will start from the door frame. Then I will observe the room from the very same spot, but from the floor to 1.5 meters. I'm searching for some booby traps. I'm searching for intel as well. So what is interesting for intel? It's basically everything. It might be newspapers, thumb drives, CDs, whatever. And if for my security, I search it from this one very place, and then I can continue to search clockwise every single place that I'm thinking that might be some interesting.
Okay, now that's great, because that's what we wanted to ask next. Is like, when you enter this objective location, when you need, when you need to find intel, how does that look? Like, what is the process to get this intel to leave quickly? What's your strategy?
Actually, I would like to find the best places for surveillance, for observation, to see as much village as possible. So during the planning, I would like to see the map and the high grounds, low grounds, and try to find the best place before I approach the village.
So then what happens, because I'm sure not every mission is perfect, right? You feel a sense of urgency, you feel suspicious, or heck, maybe you make contact with an enemy. How does the plans change? I know they change quickly, but what happens?
It depends on the mission. If the mission is only like find a place where the bad guys are hidden or something, it's always better to move out from the break a contact and move out. So you have to plan also contingencies, how to disappear from the hotspot.
Sure. In regards to this ideal mission we're talking about, where investigating them discreetly and whatnot, when an enemy, and if you make contact with an enemy, then how does that work in terms of, and you feel like you can't leave? Obviously, it seems like combat then happens. How do you guys manage that when it gets really intense?
Yeah, actually, I would like to find the higher grounds, because that gives me a little bit advantage in a combat situation, and try to approach the woods or bushes or something, to have a ideal space to hide myself, and have a better place to attack enemies.
What would you say when this is happening, the types of like emotions that run through you? At this point, do you sense any like fatigue, stress, anything that comes to mind of your experience?
What comes in my mind if something like this happened?
Yeah.
Mostly, according my experience from the battles, my brain start to work on the drills. So I know what to do, I know how to shoot, I know how to break a contact and move away from a contact, and all the guys in the teams train with me the same system, same strategy. So all of us start to work in the drill.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, you got to be very even-keeled, I would imagine, and you stick to your drills. Okay, so what happens then when you tend to remove or withdraw your team and yourself from a mission? What does that look like in terms of, extracting, and actually, do you even have any stories that you'd like to share with us about these intense moments?
Okay, so it depends on the situation. When I break, actually, if it's possible, during the contact, I will call for air support, if it's possible, or artillery or whatever. If it's not possible, I would try to hide myself, move as much far as possible from the village and call for chopper and move out.
Okay. So what would you say in terms of the ratio of missions you have with enemy contact? Like how often do you actually come in contact with your enemy, with all the missions you've done,
Actually, it depends on the missions, but it was like 3-4 times during the one rotation, which was 6 months long.
Oh, okay then.
So we try, actually sometimes we try to find a place and like a little bit provoke enemies, and
Right.
we try to go to very dangerous places. Sometimes we had a contact, sometimes nothing. So
Right.
there was no chance to predict how the mission's gonna be.
Do you find that it happens more often than not that you're able to avoid enemy contact?
Actually, enemy always have a advantage. They know the terrain, and there were always some marks that we try to be little bit to have a little bit goosebumps and know that okay, that it looks a little bit shitty and something's gonna happen. So not every time can avoid the contact. So there are tactics how to avoid IEDs, mines, or everything if you use the trucks for a movement. But you never know. You never know. It depends on the intel.
Of course, of course. So now just zooming out a little bit, is there any story or two that you can share with us that, that really stands out to you? I remember we actually tried doing this interview before. You had a really awesome story you shared, but I just was wondering if there's something you could share with us, something that you can recall vividly. I think something that we'd just like to see your perspective on and how the mission impacted you.
Okay, so it's a story from 2019 when we were with 2 U.S. ODAs in Herat province, and we had a chance. Me and 3 my colleagues had a chance to go to different province to help U.S. ODA to search very special place, very special village where no coalition forces were there for like 4 or 5 years, and this place was known as it's like hell on earth. So we approached the village with 2 Chinook choppers, and our LZs were planned 1 click away from a village, but there was some misunderstanding. This shitty stuff happened. So our landing zone was like a 2.5 clicks away from a village. So before we approached the village, all the locals were away from their houses, and but we have seen the marks in the buildings. There was still fire burning, and the beds were used. So we moved through the village, and after the move away from a market, we was in a tick from one building, and the two Afghanis were shooting. They were dead on the very place, and 2 were badly injured. All of us, we had a big luck because no one from U.S. guys and the Czech guys were wounded, and so we take a strong point in the village. We just make security. We call for air support, so there was a Hellfire and the JDAM as well, and we wait till the morning, and during the morning start another fight, which consists of the mortar firefight. So the bad guys were shooting the mortars on our position. We were shooting mortar on their position. So it was pretty tough day. and during the evening we moved to new LZ for extraction, and we move out from the village. So the injured and dead Afghani guys, they were moved out during the night with the chopper, with the medic chopper, because our task was to continue in the village and find the place which was suspected that is Taliban jail, let's say.
Okay.
But we haven't had so many Afghanis to continue with the mission. So the commander said, okay, so we were gonna be withdraw from the location and move back to base.
Wow. Well, if we may just digress a little bit after that story. Now, you're retired, but, well, you're still kind of busy, actually. So I don't know if retired is the right word, but
Yeah.
What are you up to these days now?
Actually, in these days, I'm doing a lot of things. I'm running my own company, which called the SOF. I've got some. I'm selling some my swags, T-shirts, caps, whatever. I cooperate with the Mad Fingers guys, working for Antrac. I'm providing shooting courses for my clients, and a lot of things going on. I'm preparing for let's say new tasks in the future, because a lot of things going on. I'm traveling to train in Indonesia and whatever. So many things going on.
Well, okay, so you've been through all this. You've served 19 years and a lot of missions, and now bringing it back all the way to Madfinger Games and Gray Zone Warfare. How happy are you working with this project? How do you feel about the animations you've been capturing, and as far as the realism in the game?
Yeah. Okay. So I was pretty happy about this opportunity, but it was kind of tricky. I had no experience with the games, with the game world. So so the guys who helped me to take me on the gaming world, we had a lot of discussions about how to do this, how to do that, how to manipulate with the rifle. So and I always push the guys to do the things as much realistic as possible, and their task was the same. So there were some negotiations sometimes, but I think that the player is gonna be pretty surprised how the game is real.
Yes, I think so too, and I'm glad you said that, because it means a lot. You're working with the team, and to know that these assets they're not just like copy and paste assets; they're actual animations.
Yeah. So for me it was a tough sometimes, because there is a lot of weapons from Second World War and older style platforms, and it was not easy to train with these rifles to show the best I can. So a lot of tasks were in front of me, and I'm pretty happy about that. And cooperation with the guys from Madfinger was awesome. They treat me like a treasure.
Well, Spicy, we just wanted to thank you for doing this interview with us and all the insight you've given us.
Thank you.
We'll say intel. We really appreciate it, and we definitely look forward to everyone getting their hands on Gray Zone Warfare to see these actual animations, these realistic animations captured in the game. So once again, Spicy, I know we'll talk soon. Appreciate it, and everyone who's watching, always remember, every move matters.